Hello, my name is Dylan Spieg and let's paint together. Today we're going to paint this rainy night city scene. So we're going to need a palette, some gray paint, some white paint, some orange paint, blue paint, black, some of this light blue craft paint, and some cadmium yellow, and I have a white and a black Posca pen, some water, some tiny small 1/4 inch brushes, and a fan brush. First thing we're going to do is paint this 8" by 8" canvas totally black. It's fun kind of painting it in there. And before I let it dry a little bit, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to sketch in my scene. And I'm just kind of doing it for fun, just from memory. So first I'm going to go in and I'm going to kind of make a geometric shape, like almost like steps that go down. This is going to be where you can see the sky through the big buildings. So I'm making like kind of a geometric shape that's almost like a upside down tower, some boxes. And I'm just going in with the white paint and I'm kind of just sketching in the lines. Just right over top of the black paint while it's still wet. And then I'm going to cluster a bunch of light around wherever I think the horizon line is. So wherever the horizon goes. Then I'm planning on maybe making some big store windows right here in this corner. So I'm going to put 3 big just stripes right there. Then I want to see, I'm going to make the street. So the street's going to kind of follow along. I got this vanishing point right here in the center. The street's going to, all the lines are kind of going to go towards that center. Just kind of sketching in where I'd like my city to go. So notice that all the lines kind of go to this one area. You could make the focal point in the center. Now I've let it dry a little bit. I usually just use a hair dryer. Going. Now I'm just taking that light blue paint and I'm kind of just filling in, and then I'm going to take some white paint and I'm just getting the contrast together. We're just having fun. I'm not even looking at a picture. Just doing this for fun. So then I start put some white in at the bottom of the windows. Trying to leave a lot of black. Give it some mood. It's fun to kind of paint a nighttime scene. Because then you can kind of just pick, it's more subtraction than addition. So now I'm kind of painting where the lights are shining up, a lot of light pollution in the city. We'll see a lot of stars or anything. Okay, now I'm going to take this cadmium orange, dark orange, almost red. Now I'm going to start planning. I want to put the backs of some taxi cabs. So we're going to start out with an orange. This will be like the trunk area. They're all going to be headed towards that center. Then let's put in some warm colors for some windows. Maybe some people are working late. It's downtown area. I'm just kind of putting in where I think there'll be some cars, and then the cars are obviously going to make little reflections on the water on the street. That's why it's fun to paint a street scene at night when it's raining, so you get some fun. Sort of reflections on the ground. And some highlights. Try to keep the amount of colors that I use to a minimum. Adding in some windows. I'm taking some cadmium yellow. Now I'm going to put some accents at the top of those windows. Like maybe there's some low lights that are left on. And I want to add in some windows. It's like a corner of a building, so I'm adding in just some yellow into the windows. Maybe that's like the ceiling, just to warm it up a little bit. You can make whatever shapes you want. This is mostly just to have fun and just learn about how the paint works. It doesn't really have to be very photorealistic. Still putting in some yellow, so I'm gonna put some yellow on. I want to make like some cool yellow cabs. So what I'm doing is I'm putting some like just a line on top of the hood, the trunk. Then I'm putting in where like I feel like the side panels, and these are the reflections on the ground. I'm really not going too hard on that. And I added some more windows. I always like to kind of clean the brush off. Some reflections. Always like the yellow cabs in a big city. I'll let it dry just a little bit. I use a hair dryer a lot. Acrylic dries really fast. Okay, so I'm going to add some white. Put some lights in there. Put some highlights. Just a little bit of white goes a long way on this kind of dark background. Little tiny brush. Reflections from this big window over here. Add in some lights that would be like inside of this kind of bigger window at the top. Put some highlights. Maybe some people are living up there. Those are like apartments. And I think like a bus would be coming into the front of the, like just on the side. We just see the very side of the bus with like the doors on the side that would open up. So we just barely, it's just coming in there. I have to give a lot of information to make it read as a bus. Put the bottom of the bus. I don't even think you'd see the window. So then was somewhere recently where they had bus written really big on the ground, like to show that it was a bus lane. And so I'm going to put that in here. I thought that was kind of neat. So we'll put just ever so slightly the word bus that's obviously you can't read it all the way because of the reflections. It's nighttime. But just like I think little touches like that, you know, I'm always out observing things that, you know, you don't remember. If you add those into a fictional scene, it adds it's a little, just points of interest. And I go in with a black, and I'm gonna go in and kind of just tidy up and put like you know, black in underneath the car. And where I was kind of getting sloppy, kind of clean it up a little bit. Like I said, sometimes you'll want to wait, you know, a few minutes in between colors just to see what you're doing, but you know, the acrylics really dry very quickly. This technique is fun. I don't really know what it's going to look like at the beginning. Add in where the tires would be. You know, just give the feel of cars leaving. I'll probably put some big. I always see a lot of vans in the city, so I'll put like maybe some white vans in there, then a light. So maybe up ahead. And I'm going to turn this like center white thing. I feel like that would be like a bus stop that has maybe a light. So I'm making a circle and sort of a triangle under that circle right here, if you see that with black. Then I'm going to make a bigger kind of triangle underneath that, and I'll put two kind of lines, one at an angle, that one straight, then this one going to kind of like put a bend in it. And look, we have a person walking away. Kind of the silhouette, we wouldn't see them because the light source is coming from the other direction. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. He's like kind of walking on a lonely street. I maybe got him a little too big compared to the cars, but I can fix that easy. It's better to be bold. There's enough photographs of cities. This is your painting. Just do it. Make it your world. Just come in here, tighten up with the black. Kind of make sure those edges are a little crisper on the top of my buildings. It's just basically like drawing cubes. Using like a 1 and 2 point perspective on this. Put that curb in there. So I think I'm going to add like a van or something that's kind of going around. So I put like just a square with a little bit of a sign on it. Add some lights. All the traffic, once it gets kind of far away, kind of blends into one thing. One kind of thing of lights. You want to add a lot of depth to this. Make it a more interesting piece. I've let it dry for a few seconds. Now I'm going to add some highlights to this guy with the light blue. Like maybe there's a street light from far away that's kind of shining on him. And if you go too light on it, then you can just put in some thin black and kind of blend them back in. We want it to be a silhouette, but you know, give him a little bit of shape. So put like the back of his jacket. Maybe I feel like I'm going a little too hard with the light blue, so let me go back in with this black. White reflection, kind of just want to basically paint around the shape. I want to have to paint the whole guy. I want to probably go back in with the black over top of him and darken this in. shaping up kind of nice. I like it. And some more random lights. I'm going to make the light around his head a little bit brighter. I think he's walking towards maybe a bus stop or sidewalk and to this thing. Now I'm just going to add the little doodads anywhere. I think that there could be a little bit more contrast. It's kind of like a bus that's kind of coming in. Some highlights of these taxi cabs. Some highlights on the lettering on the ground. Some windows. Reflections on the street. So now I'm gonna feel like more light would be coming up from the street onto this building. It's kind of close to us, so I'm gonna give it, gray it up a little bit, not too much. Keep it kind of, still keep it kind of dark, but then we're gonna just put in some, just leave some black spaces, you know, to kind of infer lights where, you know, nobody's there. So I'm just making like a little grid of gray over top of that black, only on that side of that building. So I'm kind of imagining this building being like a big corner building. I might go back in with a little bit of black on there just to do it. But see how that, it just makes it a little bit more three-dimensional. So I go back in with the black. That's really the secret, keeping the black, the contrast. Go in and kind of put some details in on these cars. The figure's a little blue for me, so I might darken him in a little bit. Then I'm gonna put in reflections. Yellow on this stuff just to warm it up a little bit. If it's all blue and black and white, it'll feel a little too cool. Make this feel like, you know, some people live down here. I wish I'm gonna put a little like turn signal kind of light on the bus. I'm gonna put a little bit of red on the front of the bus, like it's reflecting some of the traffic. So right here I'm gonna add in some little highlights, some more yellow, just really make the reflections kind of come down there. It gets abstract, but you get the feeling. And I'm gonna add a little bit more blue in on him. I feel like he feels a little cut out. Add some more black. And I'm gonna add some people in over here. I'm just kind of like making just some general outlines of where people are with maybe, looks like they have some umbrellas. There we go, just throw an umbrella in there. And I'm going to tighten up these edges of this building, add some curb in. I feel like I want to make this city look really big, so I think I might just put just a hint of a like skyscraper in the very back. Just you know, I'm just using the color that's mostly already there. So I'm gonna after I tighten in this black a little bit, I think I might add a bigger building just in the very background to just really make it add some depth. This, but I don't know. I think it will be cool. So we just add a few more little highlights to this part. Just get little points of interest. Alright, so I'm gonna put in just some white windows that would be like on a big kind of building in the background. Paint around where I think the building would go. So it'll be like a big, I'm kind of just making like a big kind of rectangle back there with some lights. I'm filling it in with kind of just some white and blue paint that I mixed together. And I might come in with a darker blue. Just because the sky would be lit up by the city so much that it wouldn't really be that black of a sky around it. So I kind of fill it in. So it looks almost like, so you can kind of see a building back there, but it's so far back it would be really not very high contrast. So then I'm gonna just add in a couple of windows. So it just like looks almost like a ghost building. That's how it would look, you know, especially if it was raining. You wouldn't be able to see it too good. And then I'm going to throw in that, you see I threw in a little water tower since it's a bigger city. I always like the water towers. Let me darken it. Like as you get go up from the building, the sky would get darker. So I'm adding in some blue. Some of those windows. Tighten in some of the black. Pretty happy with this so far. And then some little details to the bus. Alright, now I'm gonna, this is kind of optional, I'm gonna go in with these Posca Pens, and I'm gonna tighten in this little like water tower that's kind of far out there. Then I just go along the edges and just straighten them up a little bit, make them look a little bit more building-like, and I'm gonna go in around my guy, kind of just add a little like thin black highlights. Now I let it dry. Before I go in with the Posca Pens, I let it dry for about 5 minutes or hit it with a hair dryer. I'm gonna just go in, kind of just make the contrast a little higher, kind of outline what I think the cars are doing. you do kind of fun projects like this, it'll make it so if you have to do like a commission or something from somebody, you know, you just get a feel for how the paint works a little bit more. You can kind of work on your style. Don't put any pressure on yourself. Establishing any lines in my vans. Then I'm gonna like maybe make it's almost like a lattice. You're looking through to look at these. Maybe that's like a security thing. On the top of the cars. Highlights on the building in the background. So, I'll add some depth. Put like some tiny lights up at the very top of that. Obviously, as the lights get farther away, they get smaller. These Posca acrylic markers are great. Any brand, they're all kind of the same, but I like the Poscas, are pretty cheap. That one didn't work. Another one. Just kind of having fun with the windows. Imagine it's like a big department store or something. Going and putting in like white highlights. Things are happening. Oh yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Well, there you go. I feel this looks great. Thanks for painting with me.